Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you are having an okay Friday. I know it's a little gloomy out there. It's cloudy. There's been showers here, there, been really sprinkly. And I wish that I could say that we are all done with that pattern, but uh, Georgia's most accurate. Can't lie to you. Unfortunately, it's more of the same as we head through the next couple of days. You can see the remnants of what was once Francine swirling around, centered in the Mid South, but those rain bands really stretching as far east as South Carolina. You can see that we're picking up on some rain and some storms. Most of the storms are to the south of our viewing area. It's central and southern Georgia. But there's some storms that are firing up across portions of Alabama, and that's something that we'll continue to track for the next couple of hours. There have been some showery activity on First Alert radar for the last couple of hours. You can see those lighter greens. That's going to indicate the nuisance showers. More of the same. We picked up less than a half of an inch essentially for the last couple of days, and it's because we've seen rain, but it's been this type of rain. It's been lighter in nature, more stratiform, uniform, steady, light rain. And I expect more of the same over the course of the next couple of hours, but there is a chance that some parts of our area could get a little bit more robust as far as the rain's concerned over the course of the next few hours. There's a level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms for areas south and west of Atlanta. I think this is a very low end risk, but our job here is to make sure that you have the full weather picture and for us to tell you our interpretation of the data. And our interpretation is that it's a very low end opportunity for there to be a severe storm. But it's non-zero, so there you go. Let's get you through the next few hours where the showery activity continues. Keep your eyes focused on portions of West Georgia because that's the area that we think is going to get the most rain. That's where we think we'll see the yellows and red on Futurecast. And you can see some of that moving into the area at around 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And that's pretty much the area where the moisture is going to hang. It looks like Alabama's definitely going to get it worse than us. That's been the case for the last couple of days. But as we head into the morning hour, some of that moisture will move into our region, and that's going to equal a wet start for some folks, especially west of the city tomorrow morning. So keeping the showers around 40% chance of rain through the overnight. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to be dreary. Do I think you should stay home? No. Am I? No, but just be prepared for it. It's going to be a little damp. Some little sprinkles could hit you as you make your way out and about this evening. We are going to be watching those westernmost communities as we head through the next 12 to 24 hours. There is a flood watch that's in effect for all of the counties that you see highlighted here. Noticing these are our border counties with Alabama for the most part through around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning as more waves of rain will move through the area. And I think we'll see some scattered showers on Saturday. Sunday is actually trending a little bit drier. We're keeping a rain chance around. It's still a First Alert weather day, but don't be surprised if we do trim this back within the next 12 to 24 hours over the course of the next day if we dial back those rain chances on Sunday because some of the guidance is starting to hint that it trends a little bit drier. Heading into the weekend, we're not really concerned about severe weather. It's really just going to be this evening, isolated, low-end chance, and then, of course, watching those westernmost communities for flood potential as we head through the overnight and into the start of the day. And you can see that wall of water really creeping up on the Georgia-Alabama border tomorrow morning. I think some folks will still have some showers around. The heaviest of the rain will obviously be out west. And as we head into the afternoon, guidance is trying to dial back on that moisture. I'll be quite frank. It's trying to keep a lot of that rain in western parts of Georgia. We're all going to be under that cloud shield, so going to be gloomy throughout the day. But scattered showers will be likely as we head later into the afternoon and early evening. I just think those heavier totals will be west of the city. So don't be surprised if you run into some showers tomorrow. Here's a look at Sunday, which is also a First Alert weather day as of right now. Once again, the rain looks to be lining up to be south and west of Atlanta for Sunday, but we're going to keep a rain chance around for everybody until we get some higher resolution data to agree with us. Trends a little bit drier as we head later into the day. As far as rainfall totals are concerned, you can see that it's not a whole lot as far as accumulation for a large chunk of the metro. It's the areas south and west of the metro that have that chance to get another inch to 2 inches, maybe a little bit more in some isolated spots. So that's why we're concerned about that region. For flooding, we trend a little bit drier as we head into Monday, dropping that rain chance down. And then we get some sunshine back into view. Thank goodness. By Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be a nice day, low 80s, sun and clouds, gorgeous. Rain chances start to build back up a little bit Wednesday, Thursday, but I still think that it's going to be a mainly dry situation there. Our next best shot of rain will likely arrive by next Friday. And we're keeping an eye on the tropics because, Francine has been the focus, obviously, for local impacts. But there's also Tropical Storm Gordon, which is out there. It developed earlier today. We kind of mentioned this system the last few days. It had a shot of developing. Wind sustained at 40 miles per hour. It's moving to the west-northwest at 10. It's going to run into some dry air. And dry air pretty much suppresses tropical storms, hurricanes. It kind of weakens them a little bit, essentially dries them out. And that's what we expect to happen over the course of the next day or so for it to actually weaken, may go back to being a depression. But the further west it gets, it's going to move back into a very moist environment. So long term, this system has a decent shot of becoming a tropical storm again. It would still be Gordon, but nonetheless, don't be surprised if you see it weaken and then re-intensify over the course of the next few days. Outside of that, we are watching only one area now. We had two areas, but that area has been essentially erased off the map. There's an area off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia that is actually non-tropical. It's a non-tropical low, but it does have an opportunity as it hangs out over the coast to organize and kind of reorient itself, which sounds very weird, but become a more subtropical or tropical low, and that could eventually bring some impacts to the eastern seaboard. Right now, that looks like that's going to be minimal for us. Maybe far east Georgia could get some sprinkles, but it looks like this is going to move north as we head through the next couple of days, which would mean South Carolina or North Carolina could get those impacts of rain. So, all in all, not a terrible day, but a gloomy one. I mean, it's giving Gotham City vibes, to be quite frank. Cloudy, but man, look at that skyline. Gorgeous. I'm the type of person I like a damp evening, so I wouldn't be mad if I were on the rooftop of one of these fine establishments in Midtown, you know, looking out at all of this gloominess, sipping on a nice old-fashioned or maybe a glass of red Zinfandel. But y'all didn't come here for this. Y'all didn't come here to find out how I would vibe this up. I've given you the weather. Now Blair Miller is actually going to slide into the picture. Shoot.
I have concerns about the boys have a soccer game at 9 a.m., so give it to me. Are we going to have that game or not?
In the city of Atlanta, it's going to be a little damp, but it's nothing that 9-year-old boys can't handle.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
Okay. So.
You know, back in my day, we didn't cancel for a little bit of rain.
Now there's so many turf fields that you play in the rain.
Yeah, so I mean, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little rain ain't going to hurt them.
Well, that's good to know, yeah. So we have those first alert weather days still for today, tomorrow, and Sunday, right?
Yes, today, tomorrow, Sunday. And then as we head, we're watching Sunday very closely, Blair. To be quite frank, Blair, Sunday may end up getting dropped, but for now we're going to hold on to it because we need to see a little bit more data.
You're giving us a little intel.
Yeah, just a little intel. We're watching it. The trends are towards a drier Sunday afternoon, which means that maybe a few sprinkles Sunday morning, but we just need to see more model runs.
Okay.
So we're going through that. Me and meteorologist Fred Campagna are going to be in the Weather Center over the course of the next hour and some change. We'll figure that out, and we'll tell you what we think tonight at 10. Bam. See? Tease.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So, yeah, you know, the weather obviously been a big story the last couple of days and the threat of the rain, but also happening out there tonight is a number of stories are following here in our newsroom tonight. And one of the big ones, you know, we talk about what happened at Appalachee High School last week. We've seen the threats at a number of different campuses and different county school districts, and it's been a big concern for parents and for school administrators and local law enforcement. And today, a situation in Gwinnett County where they were making a warning, law enforcement with a warning to parents after a middle school student had been arrested for bringing a loaded gun to school today. And police are very concerned about this and seeing the situation and seeing how these things are unfolding. And law enforcement had a warning for parents saying they really need help from parents on this. And our Patrick Quinn was there and has more on this.
I'm Patrick Quinn from Duluth Middle School, and today Gwinnett County School Police, they arrested a middle school student for bringing a loaded gun to school. They said that he was actually showing it off to classmates on the bus on the way to school today, and actually when they got to school, some of those classmates then reported that student to school administrators. That's when they then arrested this middle school student. He now faces felony charges of possession of a gun on school property. Now, Gwinnett County Schools, they say they're now looking into this incident. At this time, they do not have metal detectors at any of their middle schools. That's something that they said could change moving forward. Again, nobody was hurt in this incident. Just one person, a middle school boy, arrested for bringing a loaded gun to school.
That report from Patrick Quinn, and now as we show you
Since
video
September
from
4th, there have been a
Appalachee
lot of
and the
hugs,
situation
tears,
that
and a
happened
number
there, want to update you on what we're getting from officials there in Barrow County. Appalachee High School students are now set to return to class, we're being told, this month. The Barrow County School District revealed that they're going to have a gradual return plan for survivors of this deadly shooting on that campus. So we understand students will return to school the week of September 23rd. Officials say students will have access to on-campus mental health support. Classes will also be relocated. This return to campus is happening just under 3 weeks after investigators say a 14-year-old gunman opened fire inside Appalachee High School, killing 4 people, injuring 9 others. We're showing you some of their pictures, some of those victims who were killed. And we know that there are funeral services this weekend for 2 of them, one being a student and one being a teacher. And this community is still understandably struggling with everything that's happened. And so this return to class certainly will be something that is very difficult for this community. But again, we're being told this will happen September 23rd on that Monday, so a little more than a week from now. And you can imagine how that will all play out. And, you know, law enforcement very concerned about that, and mental health officials very concerned about that, and school leaders really trying to figure out how they do this return. You know, when we were out there just last week, this was a very active crime scene for days, and so certainly a lot of things need to take place before students can come back to that. So as we wrap up here, tonight at 10:11, we'll be updating the story. Our Blake Devine is going through some of the 911 calls from that day and that shooting in Appalachia. You can imagine how difficult those are to hear. And so we'll be sharing some of that as much as we can tonight in our newscast at 10 and 11. So we'll be going through some of that to give you a better insight of what was happening from the law enforcement standpoint and what those 911 calls were like and the calls they were getting in. So that's something we're going through right now. And we'll have the rest of the day's news for you coming up at 10 and 11. And we'll have Fred Campagna and Patrick Pete as well. So join myself, Sean Gables, and the rest of the team tonight at 10 and 11. See you then.